Thank you very much for joining. Today we are discussing mastering export of groundnut, and I wanted to do raw groundnut, and someone reached out to me, and we have to change it to roasted groundnut, which I quite agree with, so we can focus more, at least for product like groundnut, that we have a lot of people adding value rather than exporting the raw. Now, today we are talking about roasted peanut. So let's start. Roasted groundnut, also known as roasted peanut, is a popular and delicious snack enjoyed worldwide. Now, the beauty of this product is that it's not a local product. It's a product in demand in different parts of the world. That's the beauty of this product. Now, it's made by shelling and roasting the peanut, also called groundnut, using dry heat or oil. The roasting process begins, bring out the rich, nutty flavor, and enhance the texture of the nut. There are different types of roasted groundnut. The whole roasted, these are peanut roasted with their shell on. This offers a satisfying crunch, a very robust flavor due to interaction between the shell and the nut and the kernel during roasting. Then we have the blanched roasted. The shell are removed before roasting. In the whole roast, peanuts are roasted with the shell. In blanch roasted, the shell are removed before roasting, resulting in a smoother texture and a milder peanut taste. This is a popular option for snacking and used in various recipes. Then we have salted roasted. It's added during or after roasting for a savory flavor boost. This is a classic and widely enjoyed type of roasted peanut. Then we have spiced roasted. Perfect for those who prefer a natural peanut flavor or those with dietary restriction on sodium intake. On sodium intake, unsalted. Some people prefer the unsalted option because they are concerned about the intake of salt because of blood pressure. Spice roasted. Various spices like chili, chili powder, cumin, paprika, or even herbs are added for a more exciting and flavory experience. How do you arrive at roasted groundnut? First of all, it's sorting and cleaning. Raw peanut, first sorted and removed. Foreign object, stick, debris removed. They might also be sized to achieve uniformity at this point. Blanching. This is optional. For blanched roasted peanuts, the shell are removed before roasting. There is dry blanching. Peanuts are passed through hot air chamber to loosen the shell, which are then mechanically separated. Steam blanching. Peanuts are exposed to steaming, loosening the shell for easy removal. Water blanching, peanuts are briefly dipped into hot water to lose the shell for easy removal. Then roasting. This is the key step that develops the flavor. There is dry roasting or oil roasting. Dry roasting, peanuts are roasted using hot air without added oil. This results in a lighter color and drier product. There's oil roasting. Peanuts are roasted in hot oil, leading to richer flavor and a deeper brown color. This type of oil used, peanut oil or vegetable oil, can influence the final taste. Then cooling is done afterwards. After roasting, the peanuts are rapidly cooled to stop cooking process and prevent over roasting. Salting. Salt can be added during or after roasting, but it's optional because some people prefer unsalted. And as a result of that, might want to do the two options. Flavoring option. Spices and other flavoring might be added depending on the objective of whoever is producing it. Grading and sizing. Roasted peanut might be graded based on size and quality. This ensures consistency. Now, consistency. So if you want to do big nut, do big nut. If you want to do small nut, do small nut. If you want to roast and it to still be white, consistent. If you want to become brown, consistent. And then packaging. And we'll talk about packaging later. The quality for export, free of pest. The roasted groundnut should be free from pests, mold and other signs of spoilage. Fungus growth discoloration should be avoided. Insect damage, weevil, beetle, and their larvae should be avoided. Foreign objects, stone, glass, metal should be avoided. Off flavor, unusual flavor should be avoided. The whole kernel, minimum percentage of whole kernel, unbroken kernel might be required. Some will say 98%, 97%. They want it to be all whole. This percentage will vary. This percentage will vary based on a number of factors. For example, who is buying and what they are using it for. Percentage will vary depending on the importing country and the type of roasted groundnut. Moisture content. Remember, it's agri product. If you have been following me, you know for this kind of product, moisture is a big deal. This is a crucial factor that prevents spoilage during transport and storage. The maximum acceptable moisture level will vary depending on the type of roasted groundnut and the importing country regulation. Typical moisture content should be between 3 to 5%. Additional quality specification, the size and appearance. Some countries might have specification for the size and appearance of roasted groundnut. This could include limitation on broken pieces or a desired size range for the whole kernel. Taste and texture. The roasted nut should have a pleasant characteristic peanut flavor and a desirable texture. Crispy for whole roasted, smooth for blanch roasted. Freedom from aflatoxin. I will talk about aflatoxin towards the end of this session. Processing specification. Roasting process. While detail might not always require, information on roasting method and temperature could be helpful for importer. So the importer is aware of what you are shipping. If the groundnut are blank before roasting, it's also important the buyers are aware because they might have specification of what they want. A complete list of ingredients needs to be provided. If you're adding salt and spices and oil, this is talking about labeling. What are the uses of this product? Snacking, simple snack. Roasted peanut are delicious and satisfying snack. Enjoying on their own. They are portable, shelf stable, and require no preparation, making them perfect on the go situation. Trail mix, a popular ingredient in trail mixes. Roasted nut added to protein, healthy fat, satisfying crunch to get energy boosting snack. So sometimes you can have cashew nut plus peanut plus coconut plus tiger nut. Salty snack. Salted roasted peanuts offer a savory flavor, making them a popular choice for watching movies, sporting events, and simply enjoying a salty treat. Then, culinary application is used in baking, can be chopped or ground and used in various baked goods like cookies, cakes, brownies, peanut butter, and the like. In candy, roasted peanuts are a common ingredient in candy bars. They provide delightful contrast in texture and a rich peanut flavor, savory dishes. Roasted peanut can be used to add protein. Roasted peanut can be used to add protein and texture to salad, stir fries, noodle dishes, even some curries. Peanut butter, a classic product made from roasted peanuts, can be enjoyed on bread, cracker, fruit, and used as ingredients in various recipes. How about sauces and dips? Roasted peanut can be used to make peanut sauce, a popular accompaniment for Asian dishes, or blended into dips for vegetable cracker. Other uses, peanut oil and also in animal feed. Now, let's move on to discuss potential market opportunity. Let's move on to discuss potential market opportunity. What is the market size of peanut, for example? The market size of peanut is actually 4.13 billion. 4.13 billion. Australia, New Zealand, Oceania continent, they're only buying $35 million of that size. How about South America? $78.5 million of that market size. How about Africa? $228 million of that market size. How about Europe? $382 million, sorry, not America, $382 million of that size. The major buyer of peanut are Europeans and Asians. If you are thinking of exporting peanut, Europe and Asia is the way to go. $1.58 billion demand in Europe and $1.83 billion demand in Asia. So who are the largest buyers? 16% of imported peanut of various types go to China, followed by Indonesia, 9.4%. No, followed by Netherlands, 11.2%, followed by Indonesia, 9.4%, followed by Mexico, 4.38%, followed by Russia, 3.94%, or followed by Vietnam, 4.16%. So these are the major buyers. Who are you targeting? Now, let's go to packaging because of time. Exporting roasted groundnut require careful consideration of packaging to ensure they arrive at their destination fresh, protected, and ensure they arrive at their destination fresh, protected, and compliant with regulation. Number one is the primary packaging. That's the packaging around the product itself. That is what the one touching the product itself. And that's very important. It has to be a food grade product. This can be a metallized film, a food grade material. The material directly in contact with the roasted peanut should be food grade and safe for food. This prevents contamination and ensures safety of the food. It can be metallized film. This offers excellent barrier properties against moisture, oxygen, air, light. That means the packaging material must be well protected, no window to see through. If at all, very minimal. Also, foil pouches, similar to metallized film, but provide even stronger protection, and plastic pouches. Cost-effective option. But choose material with good barrier properties. So what we do most of the time, in Nigeria, we use plastic. In Nigeria, we use plastic. We use plastic containers. And that will affect the shelf life because it's exposed. Then secondary packaging. Primary packaging needs to be housed in a secondary packaging. That's the carton or bag. A sturdy carton can hold multiple individual packages together, protect them from crushing, or woven PP bags are also good options for bulkier shipment, and this might require additional inner liner. Size and weight are important consideration. Choose packaging size appropriate for intended market and distribution channels. Consider single-serve pack, bulkier bags for wholesaler, or resellable pouches for convenience. Degasification. Roasted peanuts release CO2 during storage. Some packaging options might incorporate degassing valve to release this gas and maintain the package integrity. Shipment consideration. The number of tons and bags of roasted peanuts that fit in the 20 container depends on several factors. The carton size, actually. The bulkier bag will hold more weight but take up more space compared to smaller, denser package. The product density is also important. Salted and flavored peanuts might have a slightly higher density than plain roasted, affecting the total weight that can be loaded. Container utilization, leaving some space for generic packaging material to ensure that loading during transport is crucial. So bulk bag, a 20-foot container can typically hold about 10 to 15 tons of roasted peanut in bags, woven PP bags, if you are using that to carry the packaging material. But many people use carton, and it's easy to calculate what quantity can fill a container. If you are using carton, you have a dimension. The exact number of bags will depend on their size, weight, and capacity. Consumer pack, for smaller consumer pack, the number of bags will vary significantly depending on the size and weight. Let's talk about labeling. Ensure the packaging and labeling of the product, in this case, the peanut, comply with labeling regulation of both exporting and importing countries. This includes providing accurate product information, ingredient list, nutritional facts, allergen declaration, and any other required labeling. So the name has to be stated, clearly state the type of roasted peanut, whole, blanch, salted. The weight has to be stated, indicate the weight of roasted peanut in the package. The list of ingredients in the same order of weight, if you put different ingredients to garnish the peanut. How it should be stored. The date when it should be eaten, talking about the expiry date, the best before date, or used by date. Declare any genetically modified ingredient or allergen. Then traceability, batch or lot number. Traceability. batch or lot number, the country of origin where the good is coming from, and the name. And the name and address of manufacturer or distributor, and nutritional information. List the nutritional value per serving, including calorie, fat, protein, carbohydrate. The manufacturer may choose to provide extra information as required. And remember to indicate barcode. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, we'll be talking about the paperwork, documentation.
In the heart of the bustling city, a determined entrepreneur named Lucky dreamed of taking his product to the world in order to earn foreign exchange. However, the daunting world of international trade left him feeling overwhelmed. It was then that he stumbled upon the 3T Impex Export Mentoring Program. Little did he know, this discovery would change his life and business forever. Through the program, David was immersed in a world of invaluable export trade resources and personalized advisory services. He gained insights into global markets and learned to secure lucrative export contracts from eager buyers. With 3T Impex by his side, he navigated the maze of international payments and expertly handled pricing and documentation, emerging with a deep understanding of mitigating payment risks. As he successfully orchestrated the seamless logistics of shipping his goods to distant lands, Lucky's confidence soared. With a triumphant smile, he realized that he had become the master of export trade business. Do you desire to be like Lucky? Then join the next cohort of the 3T Impex Export Mentoring Program today. Then call 080920000424, 080920000424.
All right, paperwork, documentation. International trade is likely a business of documentation and logistics. And the reason is because sometimes the buyer might receive the goods before payment is made. Sorry, the buyer might pay before it receives the goods. And because the buyer might be paid before receiving the goods, that then makes it very, very important for you to be able to know that if I get documentation wrong, it might spell doom for that transaction. First is commercial invoice issued by you, the exporter, detailing quantity, description, unit price, total value, their packing list, itemizing the packing, their weight, dimension, all those things we discussed under packaging. Then bill of lading if you are going by sea, airway if you are going by air, specifying the origin, destination, consigning freight charge. Another key information. This is an evidence of contract of carriage, and it's an evidence of also receipt of goods by the shipping line. Then we have certificate of origin issued by a competent authority, like Chamber of Commerce. In Nigeria, it is issued by NACIMA. Please note that certificate of origin might not always be required, depending on the country, because the use of certificate of origin is dependent on whether or not there's an agreement, either bilateral or unilateral law arrangement between the two countries. Then phytosanitary certificates issued by National Plant Protection Organization in Nigeria. The NPPO in Nigeria is called Nigerian Cultural Quarantine Service, particularly important for aflatoxin control. I'll talk about that later on, towards the end. Export declaration, filed with custom authority, declaring good for export. The export declaration document in Nigeria is called NXP, Nigeria Export Proceed, NXP, Nigeria Export Proceed, NXP. Fumigation certificate, required by country if fumigation treatment was applied, and that is if it's raw groundnut. But if it's roasted, that might not be necessary, and any license or permit as required by the country. Remember, quality management system. Implementing quality management demonstrate your commitment to produce safe and quality groundnut. Traceability, implement traceability system, enhance tracking. You should don't buy groundnut in the market. Buy from a source so you know exactly where the groundnut is coming from. That helps you also when there are issues. And there are specific country-specific requirements you need to be aware of, and also seek professional guidance in doing this. Pre-export document, if you are Nigerian, NXP, pro forma invoice, export license from NEPC, you need to have a CAC certificate as evidence of limited liability company. And with this, you can process your pre-export documentation, pay your next fee, Nigerian Supervision Scheme fee, and also get your LGD, CCI, LGD from Customs Single Declaration, and CCI from Pre-Shipment Inspection Agent. And please, you will need NAFDAC for this shipment because it's processed. You need NAFDAC, and buyer might require a third-party inspection. Buyer might require a third-party inspection. Then you have shipping document, bill of lading, invoice, packing list, bill of lading, invoice, packing list, and any other document that might require, which I mentioned earlier. Let's look at the process. What are the step-by-step process? If you want to export this now, what are the steps you must be conscious of, which of course you must follow? Else, you might have an issue at the end of the day. First is preparation. And I always talk about preparation, which pretty much has to do with readiness. At the level of preparation, that's the time to get export hack. That's the time to learn about all we are learning right now about peanut. This is the time to learn it before you even start promotion. People jump that preparation. Can you see now? If you prepare adequately, you will know exactly what to do to get buyers. It will cost you money, and I'll talk about some of them very soon. But if you know exactly what, if you are adequately prepared, you will know. Because number one, you will know you need a representative. You need a representative, and you can easily buy import data in that country. I've already shown you today the country that are importing this product. With the reason for showing you the country importing it is to let you know the country you need to focus on when you are looking for buyers, when you are looking for representative in the export market. Now, when I'm adequately prepared, I know who are those buying, and I know how to reach them. I know who are those buying, and I know how to reach them. And I know what my risks are, and I know how to mitigate my risk. When I start that promotion activity, then I can get purchase order as soon as possible. Agree on my pricing, then procure or produce. Maybe I'll buy my raw materials, the groundnut, and then go and roast it, or partner with someone who roasts and give them the specification I want, and he roasts for me. Then I package and label it. I've shown you an example, and I've given you the labeling requirement, and I've shown you an example of the packaging and what you should avoid when you're packaging. Then you do your pre-export documentation, go online, fill the NSP form, attach the export license and pro forma invoice, submit to the bank of your choice, and then the bank send it to the inspection agent, who will invite to come and do inspection during the port clearance. And during that period, you pay your next fee, get all your documents ready, and then do the shipment and do your post-export documentation. While the port-to-port shipment is ongoing, document can be sent and presented to the buyer or the buyer's bank, depending on your payment method. Payment can be made before the good arrive. Payment can be made after the good arrive. Port clearance, inspection, and then payment afterwards. Let's now talk about getting buyers. I already told you, if you are looking to getting buyers, which country should you be looking at? China. Which country should you be looking at? Indonesia. Which country should you be looking at? Vietnam. Which country should you be looking at? Philippines, Malaysia. Which country should you be looking at in Europe? Netherlands, Russia, Italy, Poland, Germany, United Kingdom. Those are the major countries buying in Europe. How about North America? Canada and Mexico. US is not a very, very good market for volume. Of course, you can still do some small shipment to US, but not a very good market for volume. Even in Africa, Algeria, Kenya, Tanzania, and South Africa with Morocco are very important markets. How then do I get purchasers? Like I said, part of this export hack material is the protocol on getting buyer. Don't start advertising or promoting on social media like Instagram without understanding the protocol to getting buyer. Before you create a page to promote on Facebook, ensure you have mastered the protocol on how to get buyers. Before you begin to advertise or promote on LinkedIn, ensure you know exactly the market you want to ship to, and you know exactly what to do. You can do the same on YouTube. You can actually go on B2B platform and register there, and you can get contact details. So you can promote to get contact details of buyers or those interested. You can go on B2B platform to get contact of those interested, and you can decide to buy data. That's a bit expensive, but you are buying data of those that are already imported. So it's now for you to strike a deal with them because they're already importing. So you can buy the import data. And if you want to know how to go about that, you can get the Eureka Pack. The International Trade Fair, which is the most expensive option. Then don't try to look for buyer in a market where you don't have a representative. As a matter of fact, the reason why you're always looking for buyer is because you have not identified market where your product is in high demand and find a good representative to work with in that market. It can be a branch you are setting up. It can be an overseas subsidiary company determine you are partnering with someone to register a business in that country, or you get a representative, overseas representative. Pricing. Here, my focus will be on cost. What are your costs? What are the costs you must be willing to face or you will be incurring? And from there, you can calculate what your profit will be. Pricing. To be able to arrive at your price, you need to know this cost profile. Product cost, typically per ton, if you are roasting yourself or if you are buying, maybe per carton or per unit. That depends on the product and the buyer you are getting it from. Then, the transport to the port. Pitfalls to avoid. And one of the reasons for doing this session every week is actually because of the pitfalls. Common quality issue with groundnut peanut can impact their marketability and safety for consumption. Here is the breakdown of common quality issues that can arise with processed roasted groundnut and potential mitigation strategies. Aflatoxin contamination. Aflatoxin contamination. Growth of Aspergillus mold species on peanut before and after harvest, which produce carcinogenic toxin called aflatoxin. That's the issue here. Aflatoxin and natural occurring toxin produced by certain mold, groundnut, groundnut are susceptible to aflatoxin contamination, which can pose serious health risk. Aflatoxin contamination is the presence of harmful substance called aflatoxin in food. These toxins are produced by certain mold species, as I mentioned, Aspergillus flavus or Aspergillus parasiticus. And they grow on crops under warm or humid conditions. They grow on crops under warm or humid conditions. They grow on crops under warm or humid conditions. Effect of contamination is health risk. Health risk. Serious health consequences, including liver damage and even cancer. Regulation. Most important countries have strict regulation on aflatoxin. How do you mitigate aflatoxin? Implement good agricultural practice to minimize mold growth, including proper drying and storage. Regularly test for aflatoxin level and adhere to regulatory standards. Source peanut from area with low aflatoxin risk. Implement strict storage and drying process to prevent mold growth. Conduct regular testing for aflatoxin level to ensure compliance with regulation. If the groundnut is dry on time, mold growth is reduced, and that means aflatoxin level also is reduced significantly, if at all. What are other pitfalls to watch out for if you are doing export of peanut? Off flavor or odor. Stale peanut used as raw material can cause stale flavor. Improper storage condition before and after roasting. Contamination with foreign material. Oxidation of fat due to prolonged, listen to this, exposure to air. So, exposure, improper storage, exposure due to oxidation of the fat, due to prolonged exposure to air and light. Use high quality fresh peanut, maintain proper storage condition, cool, dry, dark place, prevent contamination during processing and packaging. Use packaging with good barrier properties to minimize oxygen exposure. To minimize oxygen exposure, consider using antioxidant to prevent fat oxidation. But you don't need to put chemical. Just ensure I show you a packaging that was completely covered. You can use that kind of packaging. Mold growth. High moisture content in roasted peanut, improper storage condition with high humidity, contamination with mold spore during processing, all result in mold growth. Ensure proper drying of roasted peanut before packaging. Maintain low humidity level during storage and transportation. Implement strict hygiene practices throughout processing to minimize mold spore contamination. Use packaging with good moisture barrier properties. If you are here and you are adding value, you are processing, you need to begin to reconsider the way you are packaging your product. Quality issues like insect infestation, presence of insect egg or larva in raw peanut, inadequate storage facility allowing insect entry, gaps or tear in packaging allowing insect infiltration. All this cause insect infestation. source peanut from reliable supplier with proper pest control practices, maintain clean and insect-free storage facility, use fumigation or other pest control method when necessary, ensure packing integrity, and it's very important if you are buying the raw to process yourself. It's extremely important that you keep this, where you are storing it is important. How you are storing it is important to keep the peanut in peak condition. Because if the nut is already bad before you roast, it's garbage in, garbage out. Sunburn discoloration, exposure of roasted groundnut to direct sunlight during storage or transportation. Store groundnut in a cool, dark place. You know, sometimes you go and buy groundnut in supermarket and it's already becoming rancid. It's tasting somehow. Why? Oxidation is taking place because it contains oil and they are allowing exposure to light. So it begins to deteriorate and people are still doing it. Indeed, common sense is not common. Use packaging that protect from sunlight. Use packaging that protect from sunlight. Use packaging that protect from sunlight. Broken and crushed kernel. Rough handling during processing, transport, and storage cause this. Implement gentle handling practices. That's why the bottle idea is good. It's just to cover it because it ensures that people cannot easily, it can be compressed easily. Gentle handling throughout the processing chain. Use proper packaging material to provide cushion and prevent excessive movement during transportation. Uneven roasting. Inconsistent roasting temperature or time. So if you are roasting, you need to weigh. So for example, I'm roasting 5 kg, 10 kg, and I'm going to pass it through the hot air or roast it over a period of, let's say, 30 minutes. You know how long, depending on the temperature you are using, that determines how long the exposure to heat is. So that means you weigh and you are monitoring the time, and maybe there is a stirring process to ensure the heat is circulating. That way, you can easily ensure you prevent uneven roasting. Use a well-maintained roasting equipment with proper temperature control. Ensure even distribution of peanut during roasting. Monitor and adjust roasting parameter for consistent result. Additional consideration, regular quality control. Implement quality control program to monitor roasted peanut at different stages in processing. Maintain traceability system to track. If you are going to prevent aflatoxin, you must be sure of the source of your nut. You need to deal with people who know what they are doing. They know if they harvest, they need to dry as soon as possible to prevent the mold growth. They need to dry as soon as possible to prevent the beauty of groundnut is it has shell. That's the beauty of groundnut. It has shell. So there's no reason why mold should enter. There's no reason why mold should enter. Because they have a shell that protects it. But unfortunately, people will shell it and still expose it unduly. So if you are shelling, in fact, if you roast your groundnut without blanching it, without removing the shell, you are going to reduce the chance of aflatoxin significantly. Why? Because you will not have exposed the content. If you are buying already groundnut that is already shelled, and you are roasting that, you will increase the chance of having a lot of aflatoxin in your shipment. If you are exposing that, you increase significantly the chance. Why? Because the shell will have been able to protect against this aflatoxin, but it's a challenge. By understanding these common quality issues and implementing a proper mitigation strategy, you can ensure your processed roasted groundnut meet quality standards and reach your target market in optimal condition.
In the heart of the bustling city, a determined entrepreneur named Lucky dreamed of taking his product to the world in order to earn foreign exchange. However, the daunting world of international trade left him feeling overwhelmed. It was then that he stumbled upon the 3T Impex Export Mentoring Program. Little did he know, this discovery would change his life and business forever. Through the program, David was immersed in a world of invaluable export trade resources and personalized advisory services. He gained insights into global markets and learned to secure lucrative export contracts from eager buyers. With 3T Impex by his side, he navigated the maze of international payments and expertly handled pricing and documentation, emerging with a deep understanding of mitigating payment risks. As he successfully orchestrated the seamless logistics of shipping his goods to distant lands, Lucky's confidence soared. With a triumphant smile, he realized that he had become the master of export trade business. Do you desire to be like Lucky? Then join the next cohort of the 3T Impex Export Mentoring Program today. Then call 080920000424, 080920000424.